Welcome to Milestone Moments, the show where we explore the journeys that lead to success. I'm Sheila Slick, your host and founder of 5 Milestones. In every episode, we will bring you insights from the minds of entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts who will share not just their expertise, but the milestone moments that have reshaped their journeys and led to significant achievements. So if you're looking for motivation, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and discover the milestones that mark the path to success. Welcome to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. I'm your host, Sheila Slick, and today my special guest is Cynthia Rodriguez. Cynthia has spent over 18 years leading teams, strengthening culture, and managing organizational growth. As head of school at a Montessori program in Miami Beach, she oversees strategy, operations, and staff development with a focus on building strong, resilient teams. Her background in life coaching, emotional intelligence, and human resource development shapes her people-centered approach. She's passionate about helping adults navigate change, reduce burnout, and lead with clarity and purpose. Welcome to the show, Cynthia.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm really excited to be here and ready to dig into this conversation.
I am too. I absolutely love the work that you're doing between organizational leadership, personal leadership. I actually have a little diagram in front of me today so that we can perhaps start by talking about all of the different leadership styles and then perhaps discuss which one best fits you. So the first one says autocratic, and this is somebody who leads when they're driving results through clarity, authority, and precision. And they normally use this type of leadership style when they act fast or they lead under pressure and they need more control. Number 2 would be a visionary leadership style. Someone that paints a bold picture of the future and inspires pursuit. And they normally use this kind of leadership when you're trying to introduce innovation or when you're trying to lead people beyond their limits. Then we have the democratic leadership style that unites people through inclusion and shared decisions. And when someone leads in this way, they're building trust, openness, and a shared purpose. Now, that's a bit different than servant leadership, which leads with empathy and puts others first. And that's great when you're building loyalty, compassion, and deep connection with others. We also have delegative. Delegative empowers skilled people with trust and autonomy. And it's used when you want to lead capable people and you believe in freedom. So I guess that one gives them the most control. The 6th type of leadership is coaching. When you guide others with feedback, with support, with care. And that's used when you want to grow others or mentor teams and unlock their potential. We also have a laissez-faire style leadership, which encourages freedom, creativity, and exploration. We have a charismatic type of leadership when you inspire others and you inspire them to take action through energy, confidence, passion. And it's best used when you motivate others and you lead through emotion. And the last is transformational, which combines vision and empathy to drive progress. And it's best used when you're guiding change and you elevate people through purpose. So what do you think of this diagram and the different leadership styles and which one best resonates with you?
To be a good leader, you need a little bit of each of the 9 that you mentioned. Okay. I'm more of a leader that leads through empathy and care. I like to lift up my team. I like to give them buy-in, so what they're working for is going to help them progress and be the best they can be, but I also like to give that freedom, that creativity, but not everybody puts that freedom and creativity forward. They kind of hold on to that. And that's where I kind of feel that with guidance and feedback and mentorship, they could actually express themselves better. So I would say I have a little bit of everything. I like to build trust with my teams. I like to have them use their creativity and problem solving. I even do that with students. You have to teach a student to problem solve and be the best version of themselves in order for them to succeed. Can't just always be handed to them. So I try to do the same with my staff when I'm leading them. So honestly, a little bit of everything kind of falls into that.
Now, you told me a beautiful story of how your father led. He was an entrepreneur for many, many, many years and very well respected in the community. Tell the audience a little bit about how he led.
So my father was the type of leader that treated the CEO of a company the same as he would treat his janitors in his own company. Very charismatic, not with authority, and not as a friend either, but more like lifting spirits. And that's how I grew up watching him interact with different people. When my dad started his business, he started cleaning floors, like I had told you before, in a huge print shop. And he worked his way up. He got to meet the CEO, and the CEO kind of took him under his wing and mentored him. So that is the way he leads, and that's the way he led his company. And so many people knew him. He could travel anywhere. He had accounts all over South America, Central America, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic, and just meeting with these country officials that knew him, it was just spectacular to see. And that's what I learned. He taught me how to be the type of leader that I didn't have to be so authoritative. I could be myself. I could be empathetic. I could be, the type of leader that mentored people and coached people to raise them up in order for them to be successful, as he did.
And I think I absolutely love that story because I think that when organizations, they start to delegate and you have all these, hierarchies and these titles and these positions, we often put importance or priority based on the higher positions. And I'm a firm believer that the feedback should start from that first line. That's the most important because they're the ones facing, the client or the suppliers firsthand, and they probably have more insights people perhaps may overlook or may not ask. And so I absolutely loved
Exactly.
your story because, it doesn't matter where you're at or what your title or position is when you're an inclusive, a great leader. You can do a lot more than help that organization. You can lift, inspire, and have a case as wonderful as the one that you just shared.
Exactly.
You're passionate about helping others navigate change. What are some of the challenges, whether they're executives or adults?
When you're navigating change, change is difficult for anybody because we are creatures of habit. And sometimes people see change as a negative, when actually change could be a positive. One example, let me just use education and technology. Technology is forever changing, and education is constantly trying to catch up to technology. And if education does not move forward with tech, then it's going to fall behind and be outdated. So that is one thing that we're navigating in schools right now. We're navigating how educators, education, schools are catching up with technology. Technology is scary, especially for the older generation educators. You have older teachers that are not computer savvy, that are not tech savvy. They don't know how to use technology to their advantage. To where you have the new teachers that are coming in full of technology, full of, new ideas, and they are the ones moving forward. Now, the challenge we're facing is that teachers don't want to teach. Schools are having a hard time finding staff, finding teachers because some schools are stuck, not wanting to move forward. I think that's one of the biggest challenges we're facing now with change.
Well, I think it's in all industries. I think it's inevitable. I sometimes describe it. I'm scared of AI too, yet I was able to use my imagination and build a tool I couldn't imagine having built 10 years ago. It took just a change in mindset to be able to feel comfortable and step out of that comfort zone, because it can be extremely overwhelming. And I keep interviewing a lot of experts. It just keeps saying, take that one small step toward that change. Go beyond the prompt. So what is one piece of advice you can leave in someone listening, tuning in today, whether or not they're a teacher, they could be a parent or an executive or even an entrepreneur, prevent burnout?
Well, to prevent the burnout, mindfulness, breathing techniques, kind of go into your core and see how to, you were talking about time management. You have to be able to set aside family time, which is super important. And a job should not take over your family. And that, is the key. And when I talk to my teachers, we do yoga here. They have a room where they can go and decompress. Sometimes you just want to go outside and scream. As a parent, and it's not only teachers, as a parent, sometimes you get that frustration. They have to be able to disconnect. So there's a room here, that we built for them in school that helps them use coping mechanisms, breathing, stretching, meditation, stress relievers, tea. They have to be able to use time management throughout their day. And that helps them with, keeping a settled mind and helping them be really involved in the classroom.
I absolutely love that space. While you were talking, it was creating awareness that I haven't today, this morning,
Yeah.
even taken the time to just breathe, take those 5 minutes to relax and let the thoughts out of my head.
We need to start every morning with stretching and breathing. That's so important.
There's something we can do together. Yes.
Yes.
Anyone listening that thinks that could be a good idea, right? The 5-minute check-in.
Yes,
Could do
definitely.
something like that. Just a 5-minute where we walk through and make sure that we do that either together or at your own pace. Just 5 minutes makes a huge difference. 5 minutes sounds like a tiny amount of time, but in reality, 5 minutes is, I think, sufficient to be able to
A reset.
there you go. That's
a reset.
the
Yes.
5-minute daily reset. We're going to
Yes.
start that. You're going to be my coach. As an entrepreneur, I need that accountability and that companionship. Reset every morning,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be mid-morning as well.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk after the episode, but I'm liking the idea a lot.
Yes.
That would be the key takeaway today. So I'm going to let you repeat what you think we should all do today.
That 5-minute reset. Definitely. Deep breathing, stretching, a nice meditation. And it just really takes 5 minutes. If you incorporate those 5 minutes every day, you could really reset and come back, relax, stronger, and ready to tackle your day or the rest of your day or your morning, however you see it.
All of those changes, it can help you navigate those changes, get a clearer mind after the reset.
Yes, definitely.
So before we wrap up, do you remember watching Grease? It's a movie that was, yeah.
I love Grease.
I think all Gen X loves Grease. I think I watched it many times, but in schools, they normally either have a little room or a little microphone, kind of like this podcast setup where the principal says the morning announcement.
Announcements, yeah.
That's what the 5-minute reset's going to be. We're going to see at what time the principal wants to schedule us every day.
Perfect.
The announcement will be the daily reset.
Bring it on. I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Cynthia, for joining me today.
Oh, thank you. I had a great time.
And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. Until your next reset.